Hey Floss Tube, this is Christy, SaltyStitcherDesigns. Just getting off work here and starting to stitch and thought I would just pop up to my stitching space and do a stitch with me with Lady of the Flag. So here she is. This is what I have so far. I'm going to keep her in the Nurge frame because I have her set up exactly where I'd like her to. I have um, all of the stitches in the top portion here, and I'm waiting on doing some of the beading. So here's a good close-up of what I have so far. This is the blue conversion, and I'll go into that a little bit during the stitch. So um, come join me for a stitch with me with Lady of the Flag. Okay, we are all set up here, and we're going to be working today on this section right in here, just filling in her dress. These are all beads that need to go in a little bit later, but we're going to be working right here, finishing up this row on her dress, and then probably moving. Let's go ahead and zoom out just a little bit, and then probably moving up here and then coming back down just to see if I can get some more of her dress over there. So let's go and zoom back in. There we go. She's focused in. Everything is as tight as I'm going to get it. Camera's in a good spot. Okay, so we're going to start off with, so I have about a three and a half foot length of thread here. I'm going to pull one strand out, and again I pull it, hold it, and just pull that one strand out, and put it off to the side here, put the rest off. And I like to start, because I'm using two threads, I like to start my stitches with a loop start. So I take the bitter ends here and bring them together, which creates a loop on the other side. I pinch the loop between my thumb and my forefinger, and I want to pull the right needle off. I usually keep two on there, and I'll explain that in a minute. And so I take the eye of the needle, use a scissoring motion between my two fingers, and poof, the eye comes straight through. This is a size 26 needle. It is my size of choice. And so the second needle that I have on my needle minder, it's a Cinco de Mayo needle minder, is a size 24. And the reason I have a size 24 is because I was using one strand of DMC and one strand of Krynic earlier, and it just did not fit in the size 36. So I needed just a larger needle for that. So we're just going to go with the size 26 with the two strands of DMC and start our loop start. So let's bring this a little bit to the center of the screen. Okay, so the way I do it, so I'm a two-handed stitcher. My right hand is on top, my left hand goes underneath the fabric here, and we're going to go down in the bottom left so that our loop is at the top. Let that hang, come up in the top right, pull it a little bit, go through the loop, which creates the loop on the top, and then back down on the bottom left, and then just do a slight pull so that goes to the bottom of the fabric. You can absolutely do the loop start so that you loop it on the bottom, but this way I find that I'm not flipping my fabric all the time. For Lady of the Flag, I use a Nurge frame, a big Nurge frame, and because I just like to have a whole area out here to see, particularly for her because the pattern is quite busy. And up here in my office at my desk, I'm using a Nurge stand. So it is held at the top. I think I can move the camera. It is held at the top here and clamped down, and it's holding the Nurge frame. So that is working for me right now. Let's fix that, okay? And yeah, we're just gonna start. And I picked this section because it's pretty easy. It's nice block stitching, and that's a welcome change from this weekend where I was working on the bottom of her dress. And a lot of color changes, some Krynic, skipping stitches for beads that will go in later, and just a lot going on at the bottom of the dress. So I'm happy to be up here with a little bit of fill-in block stitching with this is DMC 336. Alright, let's check. I'm going to just double check this spot, because I think I go under it one. Yes, I do. Always double, triple check, or else you can find yourself frogging. No one wants the frog in their life. Okay, and I noticed I was bending over looking, and my hair was getting in the way, so we're gonna have to remember to hang back here. Remedy that and hang back here so my hair doesn't get in the way. And if I keep doing that, I'm gonna have to put my stitch cap on. And okay, that should be good. Next one. Just double checking my chart over here to the left. And we're going, staying under. Okay. And paralleling. Okay, so we're still just filling in here, which is really nice. This is a 32 count linen, and it is on the We the People fabric that I showed at the beginning of the video. Really easy to stitch on. Two strands gives it pretty good coverage, and I'm pretty pleased with how it is turning out. So I found, so Lady of the Flag is kind of a hard, it's out of print. You can find some copies on eBay, but they're pretty expensive. That is indeed where I bought mine. I think I've mentioned this on earlier Floss Tubes. It came with the price tag still on it of $12, and let's just say I did not pay. Oops. I did not pay $12 for Lady of the Flag. Her going rate is mostly in the 200s. It took me 4 attempts to win her on eBay. It took me 6 months, I think, to find her. So I'm really thinking hard about how I rehome her when I'm done, and I'm hoping to finish this by the end of the year. Started stitching her again in for Mira May. Some people do Mania. I saw on Lost in Floss that she does Mira May, which I thought was fabulous. I had a bunch of Whipco stuff going on, so I only picked this one chart to stitch in May for Mira May. So, but it's a good one. I feel like I'm doing a little bit of patriotic stitching, and I really need to finish her and frame her. So this is why I am kind of doing a big push on her. I thought initially I would be able to finish her before StitchCon and just do some beading at StitchCon, but that was probably not realistic given my Whipco calls. I have 4 new designs. And I spent last weekend printing out those designs. They're getting ready to go to the distributors. And I'm stitching on one of my new designs, which if you want to see it, it's a nice autumn stitch, and I give you a sneak peek in my May update Floss Tube video. So go check it out. I'm really enjoying that stitching, and I really need to get back to it and finish it so I can prep all of the charts. Okay, coming to the bottom here, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Doing the right thing with this. Okay, there is the last floss, number 7. And then it goes to 8. I didn't do 8. So let's just keep moving along. So at the beginning of May, I took a trip to Disney World. I brought some of my projects, but stitched on them a little bit in the afternoon, but didn't really get as much stitching on them as I would have if I was home. But did get some good stitching in the airport, stitching on the plane. But went to Disney World for about a week. Visited my husband, who met me down there, which was a lot of fun. No, we are not going under the 7, but we're going next to the 7. Okay. It was a lot of fun. We paid a couple visits to Epcot, a couple visits to Animal Kingdom, and 1 visit to Hollywood Studios. So Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival was going on, and we like to pick an enchanting extra. So Disney has these really interesting experiences in the parks called enchanting extras, and we like to pick one once a year to do. And this year we picked Diving in the Seas Aquarium, which was the first time we had ever done that. You have to be certified divers, but it was the first time we had done that, and it was about a 45-minute experience, diving with the hammerheads, all of the different fish in the aquarium, the rays, and it's pretty fun because they have a restaurant in the aquarium, so you're diving and waving to the people in the restaurant. You're also diving in the aquarium and waving to the people who are visiting the Seas Aquarium, which is kind of fun. So if you bring your family members can go into the aquarium and watch you dive from the aquarium side, on the dry side. So that is just a whole ton of fun. Highly recommend that excursion. They do it twice a day now during during the summertime. They're doing it twice a day, and we just had a blast. That was a really special time. We usually go in May, and that is to celebrate my birthday, which is at the end of April. These are my scissors. If you haven't seen these little snips, they won't get confiscated at the airport. They have a nice little cover. They're really sharp, and they work really well. Here, so I'm gonna go snip that pretty close. Okay, let's continue down. Anyway, so nice little trip to Disney, which was about a week, and then I had a work trip, so I flew from Orlando directly to New Orleans for a work ceremony for 2 days, which is always nice. It's always nice to visit New Orleans and have a couple hours to roam around the French Quarter, look at fantastic art. I didn't get to visit the Quarter Stitch, which is the local needle workshop in the French Quarter this time around, but I really want to find my last project when I visited the Quarter Stitch the last time I was in New Orleans and pull that out. It was of a kind of a Mardi Gras mask, I would say. So I really need to get that out and started. I kitted it up and it looks really pretty, so really excited to start that project. What else happened in May? And then it was just a whirlwind. So after that work trip, made it back and just started stitching on my Whipco. So Whipco is going well. It's June now, and I have kept up with my Whipco calls, and I'm still up to date, which is an absolute miracle. And the way I typically run Whipco is I have 3 Whipco boards. So every number that's called, I work on the first project, which is my own designs. So I stitch on my own designs and make sure I complete whatever design I'm working on. The second project is a full coverage project. Seven down. Okay. A full coverage project. So I think it was the pelicans and the lanterns, which are a lot of fun to stitch on. Making some great progress now. You can actually start to see great progress. And then it's just one of my whips that I've been stitching. So those are fun. I also worked on Put a Bird on It, which is Sheila and EJ's Sal, the Sunshine Stitchers, and that's been a great stitch. You have to do about, the way they've broken it up, it's in 13 sections of about 11 to 1200 stitches each month. So not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, so I'm pretty much up to date, and then I added Lady of the Flag for Mira May, and just decided to keep her out, and I think I'm going to keep her out. So it's now June 4th. Probably shouldn't be dating this stitch with me, but it is June 4th, and she is still out, and we are still working on her. So at some point I do need to work on June Whipco, but I'm really enjoying stitching on Lady of the Flag. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's my last row here. Yeah, so I hope your May went well. I know all kids are out of school now, so that's exciting. I know a bunch at work, they're at their summer camps, and they're having fun. So that's been fun to listen. Ooh, that one got all wonky. Yeah, I hate when a stitch gets wonky. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, just pull it out, rethread. The Aunt Judy method, pinching the thread, and then doing like a little scissor or a saw, and boom. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can put it in the right hole that time. Okay. And so what I did, I have, so in order to keep the pattern as pristine as possible, I photocopied the pattern, and now I'm running off one side. So to see if I have that page. Oh, I do not have that page printed out. Okay, so we're just going to follow along here. Those are all 8s, so we'll do a few 8. Okay. So that is okay. We will continue to press forward. Those are definitely 8s, so we'll continue. Okay. Yeah, we're cooking here. So I just got back from the craft store and kitted up 3 projects that I plan on starting at StitchCon this year. The first one was a Teresa Kogut Patreon release, and it was patriotic. She released a few on her Patreon site, and this one was an eagle, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I went and kitted that up, and then the second project was the Long Dog Sampler's new release, and I should have looked at the title, but I picked out a beautiful blue to stitch monochromatic, Long Dog monochromatic piece. And the third was a full coverage. My husband fell in love with Disney Cats, a piece of artwork. I do not plan on selling this, as I don't own the copyright to it. But he loved the artwork and wanted me to stitch it, and it's all of the Disney Cats. And it is so much fun. It's going to be over. I converted it into a full coverage project with, it's a little bit shy of 160 DMC threads, so I went and kitted that up as well. So I am really, really excited about that. And my next Floss Tube video is going to be how I kit up a full coverage project and get it ready to stitch. So with 155, 56 skeins and a lot of fabric, it is really important that you take the time to double and triple check everything, because this is a project you're going to be hanging out with for probably a couple years. And sorry, I'm just checking the pattern here. It's going to be one you're going to be hanging out with for a number of years, so make sure that your fabric is right. Make sure that your threads are organized, that you have the right threads, and just get all your supplies and your things in order, and double and triple check. Really important that you do that. You don't want to get 3 years into a project and recognize that you mismeasured your fabric. That could be, well, at least for me, that would be heartbreaking, especially if I had to cut out a piece. So yeah, so double and triple check those things. and make sure they are right. So we're going to do that together on my full coverage, and then go from there. Yeah, that's going to be fun. You know, as a designer and a floss tuber, there are so many different directions you can go with cross stitch. It's so versatile. There are so many different topics, and I'm really narrowing down my niche to passing a lot of good information to you, teaching you how I do things, and maybe it'll help you in a future project, and really honing in on my niche, which I think is not only, you know, showing you my designs based on my travels, but also teaching you a thing or two about teaching you some best practices about how to do full coverage and how to approach it and how to not get frustrated with it, and show you maybe talk about some of the pitfalls that I made and some of the mistakes that I made, so you don't have to do that again. So yeah, all right, we are coming right to the end of this, and I think because we're going to get into a bunch of color changes, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I hope you enjoyed the stitch with me and on Lady of the Flag, and this will not be the last one, so please continue to tune in, and if you like this, like, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.